Please donate and subscribe. Keep us on the air. We aren't paid by Justin Trudeau. And neither is Dean Baxendale. He is the CEO of Optimum Publishing, but he's also involved in some very interesting world events. And one of them, you just got back from the Uyghur conference, which was in Europe. Sarajevo, was it?
Sarajevo, yes.
And one of the big lessons then, of course, the Uyghurs are enslaved by China, by the CCP, even though the Chinese government says no. Tell me about the conference. Was there a lot of people under attack there by the CCP?
Well, the conference came with a great deal, many threats to leadership within the Uyghur community, including the past president Dolkan Issa, Rushan Abbas, who advocates out of Washington.
Threats by the Chinese government?
By CCP proxies, advocates will just, yes. And so the security was extremely tight, including tactical squads and snipers, because threats had been made to their lives. Again, this is nothing new, though. If you're a Uyghur or a Tibetan, this kind of repression and tactics by the CCP has been going on for decades, but more pronounced since the implementation of the Uyghur Forced Prevention Labor Act in the United States. That's put a lot more pressure on China, and here in Canada we're doing very little.
Wait a second, we have all kinds of materials being imported to Canada from China made by slave labor.
That is correct.
And there's rules against that, but the Canadian government likes China.
Well, what's worse about that, Stephen, actually, is there was a report in Bill 227, S227. It was a new law, not a law. It was a voluntary compliance by Canadian corporations to report on what they perceive to be the level of slave labor in their products.
Right.
Well, that report was supposed to be tabled by Mary Ng at the end of September. It still hasn't been tabled, but I do understand that 2,400 complied. Of that, over 40% said they have slave labor in their products. We have stopped 50 shipments for inspection, have turned back 0. The United States government, through the CEC, Congressional Executive Committee on China, sent a letter to Mary Ng and also to the trade representative for Mexico saying we're going to enforce this through USMCA come the 2026 review.
So the American government is far more vigilant
100%.
Than the Canadian government.
We're doing nothing, and doesn't that speak to our complacency and our complicity with China, with Justin Trudeau and others?
Wait a second, is this the cabinet minister, Mary Ng, the close friend of the Prime Minister, who says she's a loyal Canadian?
That is correct.
And some people doubt that.
I think that in our book, Willful Blindness, I think we basically say that she was an unwitting, target of the Chinese Communist Party's infiltration operations into the 2019 and 2021 election.
To the very heights of our government in
Correct.
cabinet. Dean Baxendale, thank you very much. 3 minutes. To those of you who have subscribed and donated, a heartfelt thank you. You're keeping us on the air. If you're watching and you haven't, please try to do so, because 4 years ago we started this show because there needed to be independent analysis. Now more than ever, with the Online Harms Act, once that gets into law, it's been passed once by the House, there are going to be hundreds of bureaucrats censoring the news in Canada, censoring this show. We need to keep it on the air. Thanks for your support.